My guest is Pat Lowry. Pat is the coordinating producer for ESPN's coverage of the Women's Final Four. Pat, give us just a quick summary, the elevator pitch, if you will, of what your function is.
Well, actually, I oversee our coverage, so I bring in the talent and the production team. Myself and my partner, we have two coordinating producers on this project, and we decide who's going to do what assignment, and we decide which production team is going to do what, and then we look at features and everything, and we come up with our game plan for how we're going to manage this tournament.
So what have been key storylines you've been looking at that have helped develop your strategy here?
Well, key storylines, I mean, clearly UConn's win streak is a key storyline. I think the thing we've enjoyed a lot is the Samuelson sisters and both of them getting to play. We've watched their dad flip and flop from region to region, and mom being at home with the dog because the dog is only a year old and they didn't want to kennel it for a full 2 weeks. So they're good dog parents as well. So when you learn a little bit about the people involved, and you can not only tell the story of the basketball, because that's a given, you want to tell that story, but when you can tell the story of the people and the student athletes, it's really a lot of fun.
Thinking about sort of the big picture here, one of the things that this hopefully is very good for is the development of women's basketball in this area. Covering Final Fours, what do you see that is a positive that areas that host it take out of it in that respect?
I think you get exposed to the highest level of women's basketball, and when you get the opportunity to see a UConn play, a Stanford play, a Mississippi State, it really is the best of women's basketball. And if you like basketball, you're going to, when you see this, it's going to open a new door for you, because you're going to see that women's basketball is a little different than men's, but equally as entertaining and competitive.
So one of the things Pat has to be aware of, now that she's hopefully done all the planning and gotten everything straight, is what can go wrong. And that's when she really has to jump into the fray. What are some things you have to think about that you're planning on to make sure they don't go wrong?
Well, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, clearly, when you've got as many cameras and feeds and people in different directions. I mean, we are feeding Sports Center, we're taking care of our studio stuff, so we have a lot of other elements that go into it, and getting all the people in the right place is part of what we're doing. And another part is, what happens if this goes wrong, if you lose a signal, where's the backup signal? We have a great operations team that takes care of that, but in the end, when something goes wrong, they look to us to say what happened. So you have to be prepared and know what we're going to do in a lot of different instances.
Excellent. Pat, thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely.
So if you are at the arena, if you're at the games this weekend, you hopefully will see Pat sitting calmly, not having to really do anything, maybe getting some popcorn. If you see her dashing about, something has come up that was not expected. For the Fort Worth Weekly with Pat Lowry, I'm Rush Olson.